that has been shown by the Indian Army and the restraint that has been exercised. Though Dr. Sreeram Chaulia is also with us, and Niranjan and Gursimran are also joining us on the broadcast, because Dr. Chaulia, on the contrary, China that had been claiming that it was the Indian Army that crossed the LAC and said that it was the Indian troops that fired warning shots, those lies have been exposed.
Yeah, you know, the Chinese propaganda machine is as usual trying to spin what is a setback for them by pinning the blame on India. And they're claiming that we are violating the code of conduct and the norm not to use firepower. The point is, you know, since April and May, they have been trying to encroach, and we have bravely pushed them back, even sacrificing the lives of our Jawans. And now they are now on the back foot in the southern bank of the Pangong Tso. Our forces have shown that we are aware of the geography. You see, the terrain is everything at LAC, in the Ladakh and Aksai Chin sectors. Wherever you know, there is an advantage or a vantage point that can be taken, we are now taking it. And earlier we were not going there, and so now the Chinese are claiming you're crossing LAC. But this is a perceptional issue. They have also crossed at some points, and we are trying to push them back on other parts of the Pangong Tso. So tit for tat is necessary, and
Dr. Chaulia, I believe Niranjan also wants to come in, because Niranjan, as we are looking at this standoff that has been going for the last 4 months at the LAC in eastern Ladakh, and several despite dialogues that have been taken place, diplomatic, political, military level dialogues, there hasn't been a big breakthrough as far as the India-China border dispute is concerned, and Chinese PLA here is the main aggressor.
But I think also what is important to note is that, Amita, because yesterday when the first, China tried to play smart by sort of preempting and putting out a statement, and most sections of the media lapped it up immediately to say that the Indian troops had opened fire, and we all know the existing understanding between India and China, and the status quo as far as use of arms is concerned. Sreeram, we've discussed it at length after what happened in Galwan Valley. And we all know Indian troops are the most professional in the world. And going by the statement, it appears China once again played mischief. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. That China played mischief once again with that statement that was issued late last night. Sreeram.
And Niranjan, as I said, they are trying to cover up for their failures. This is how they try to put a glass over the fact that they are being outmaneuvered in the geographical terrain of the LAC by Indian Army. Indian Army has read the topography better than them, and wherever they try to encroach, we are now doing a tit for tat so that they understand the cost of their aggression. So to cover up for their failure, because there are points, vantage points that now we have taken over in the southern bank of Pangong Tso, which is putting entire regiments of them, which are low-lying areas, in direct sight of our gunners. So they are now at a disadvantage, and we are on the back foot, and therefore they are crying hoarse like this, claiming that we are using firepower. So far, not a single life has been lost through firing. And that's a fact nobody can deny. Firing in the air, well, both sides do shelling and practice, in the air all the time at the LAC or at the LOC for that matter. So this is not believable, but what they're trying to do is cover up for the fact that we were smarter than them, and they can never accept it. The communist ideology is they believe in their superiority. They think that the so-called bourgeois democracies are weak and soft and loose, and they cannot match the hardness and the hard power of the Chinese Communist Party. Now they are realizing that we have hard power, we are exercising it diligently, we are not interested in a firefight, but if it comes to that, and if they intrude deep inside, we have already said that our forces are free to defend our territorial integrity. So I think this is the kind of messaging they're trying to do, and also warning us. You see, the Global Times, the mouthpiece, has already come out with a tweet saying that, do you remember what happened in 1962? So they're trying to go back to that and trying to scare us and trying to say we have the right to now retaliate using firepower. So this can become an escalatory spiral, but our position is quite clear, and we have put it out for the world to see. We are not interested in using firepower unnecessarily. They should vacate some of these points they've encroached at the LAC, and the matter is over. The matter is solved. So the question is, who made the first move in April and May? We are simply defending ourselves, Niranjan. We are not interested in a war. but they need to step back and they need to know their limits. And we are showing the limits through usage of smart usage of topography and terrain. We know which are the points where they are vulnerable and we have an advantage. And now since they are pushing the envelope every day, we have to push back. So the tit for tat is going to happen. They're going to lose more points now. And they're already preparing for that by putting up this cover story that the Indians are using firepower. So let them also use firepower if we are actually using it. Let's see if they can dare to do it. So I think we are sending multiple messages. One is we are strong, we are not weak. Two, they cannot, browbeat us. And three, they need to restore the status quo ante of April and May. You're right. They are doing all these core commander level dialogues and diplomatic dialogues. Defense ministers have talked. Foreign ministers are going to talk. BRICS, SCO, everywhere there's diplomatic engagement. But on the ground, the communist mentality is if we have an advantage.
Sreeram, I think Shawan is also joining us.
We will try to force our will on the others. We are saying you cannot force your will on us. That is our point.
Yeah.